It's funny because I constantly have imposter syndrome. World building. Oh, I'm gonna get in so much trouble because I'm such a bitch. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the vlog. This is like my third attempt to do a writing vlog. Hello, editing Katie here. Don't ask why I'm wearing a full face of makeup. It's a long story, and you're welcome, because you don't get to see me looking all busted. Also, don't ask me why I'm wearing a hoodie in the middle of June. For some reason, Pennsylvania has been hit hard by climate change, and it's 91 day and -12 another day. Right, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's kind of ridiculous, Pennsylvania. Get your shit together. Anyway, not the point of why I'm popping in on your viewing experience. The main thing is because this vlog is absolutely chaotic. It has the chaotic energy that I didn't know I had, and also I talk about a lot of random things. I tried to plan out this vlog, but alas, I'm not very good at planning or making vlogs. I feel like all of my footage is so fucking boring that why would you ever want to watch it? But I often want to watch vlog footage of people doing random shit in their lives, so maybe y'all find it much more interesting than I do. Anyway, this is me narrating and putting a story in for the rest of the vlog. I sound really depressed in these next clips. I'm mostly just insecure about my filmmaking and my ability to impress y'all with my knowledge because I'm mostly a bumbling idiot. I mostly sound depressing because I talk about imposter syndrome, not because I talk about anything that's actually depressing. So don't worry. Unless you're triggered by imposter syndrome, you should be alright. Roll clip. I literally just sat here for about 2 minutes thinking about what I could possibly say that was worth saying, which before I even set up the camera and thought about what I was gonna say and that kind of thing, I wrote down a list of topics that I wanted to talk about in the vlog periodically, while I also showed you my work and my productivity and stuff like that. And one of them that I wrote down was imposter syndrome. And I think me just sitting here thinking about what I was gonna say and whether anything I say is worthwhile, and the fact that how am I more qualified than someone else to give whoever's watching this advice about writing? It's funny because I constantly have imposter syndrome. I'm in the honors program in my university. We have these seminar Socratic classes that we have where we basically talk about big things through the lens of a specific discipline. So for my first semester we had what is the difference between belief and knowledge. The second semester was how do we discern good from evil? And I looked at both of those through the lens of literature, and that's actually what made me decide to become a literature and writing major in college, because I was originally a history major. One of the things I always felt in those classes is, even though I had a good grasp of what I should say and what I wanted to say and what I could possibly impart onto others, I felt like such an imposter. There's no way that I, this lowly person who spends way too much time on YouTube and spends way too much time reading random books and, making up stories in her head to escape from her real world, would have anything of importance to say to anyone else. And I think it's just kind of funny that the whole point of me starting a YouTube channel is to kind of figure out what I'm doing with writing and maybe impart some knowledge onto people who may not know things or may be looking for a different way of looking at writing. And I think it's just really telling that this was a thought process that literally I was just sitting here thinking about what the fuck could I possibly say that would make anyone care? Why do I have an authority? And it's not about having an authority, it's about just sharing your experiences. Maybe you don't feel like my methods that I talk about will work for you, but I find a lot of times when I seek out AuthorTube videos, it's to learn and to figure out better ways of doing things, even if they don't end up working for me. So, anyway, now that we've had a very depressing start to the vlog, today I'm going to be working on world building for my new project. I said in my last video, in my plans for June, that I wanted to world build a new project. It's currently noon on the 12th of June, so we're just going to see what today brings. And I think I'm probably going to get lunch and get back to world building. So that's the plan. I will see you guys in an update. But until then, enjoy this aesthetic montage footage.
We've done this before, and I know that we'll do it again, so lay me down on the floor.
As riveting as it is to watch me type away at the computer and work on this new project, I've decided to continue to talk about imposter syndrome. Well, kind of. When I started to world build this new project, it was mostly because I felt out of my depth with the Eclipse project. While I definitely still want to work on that project, and one day I'm sure I'll return to it, every time I finished writing, I realized I was so exhausted and wrung out and not feeling good about it mentally. And this, to me, means that I wasn't prepared to work on this idea yet. Even though I had been on a grind, and at the end of May, I had forced myself to get into a position where I could write 4,000 words on it, I just decided I shouldn't do any more of it. Part of me wondered if the reason I was struggling was because of my anxiety towards the idea, and I think it is to some extent. I definitely struggle with the fact that I don't think that I'm sometimes a good enough writer to write certain ideas, and that I'm just not at the level where I can write them effectively. In that regard, I think I definitely push too hard to find the plot and the voice and the characters, and I need to place it on the back burner and return to it later. Which leads me to this new project. I've had an idea for an opening scene and an inciting incident, which I did not have for the Eclipse project, incidentally enough. I had my characters and some old ideas I could spruce up and reuse. And I'm also very used to writing in the fantasy genre. It is a place that I'm comfortable. I mostly write fantasy, like almost exclusively write fantasy, or at least a genre with a fantasy spin on it. And I'm actually pretty confident this time that it might actually stay fantasy as opposed to drifting into a genre blend. Since I'm working on world building, I already have an outline for a video that has all my world building tips specifically formulated for those of you who are discovery writers, like me. Look out for it Sunday. Also, just as a note for anyone who's curious, the program I use is Scrivener, and I'm also planning on making a video of how I utilize its functions. But I will shut up now and let you vibe with my music.
How do I let go? I don't have a clue, 'cause I know I can't stop running back to you. Where did I go wrong? What else can I do? Why do I keep on running back to you?
So this next clip is about world building, even though I just said in my voiceover that I'll be making an entire video on world building. And don't you worry, I will be. The clip is only half complete because I realized about halfway through filming I sat at my desk for like too long, staring at the camera, thinking, wow, this would make a great actual informative video. So there's a little teaser. Not that I'm going to be using that footage in my world building video, but I talk about step 1 of my world building process, which I'm in the middle of, and it's a pain in the ass. Enjoy! Sorry about my hair. I need to wash it. It's atrocious. It's fine. Good evening. Welcome to my writing session for this evening. I took a 2-hour nap by accident, so I lost about 2 hours of the day, but I am feeling more refreshed, and I'm ready to continue on my writing for today. But before I get started into that, I want to talk a little bit about world building, because that's essentially all I've been doing all day. My favorite activity, truly. My tips for world building, and how I world build, are very simple, because I don't think you should overcomplicate it. The first thing that I do is I figure out my magic system. This is the most important part because most of the time my plots revolve around magic, so it makes sense that my first thing that I would take care of is the magic system. Now, oftentimes it takes me a little while to actually come up with the magic system and kind of flesh it out, but oftentimes I find that when I write about the religious system, the specific powers, what I kind of like aesthetically when it comes to magic, because I like the aesthetics of magic as much as I do the actual practice of it. So this third and final rant or clip, we're talking about a writerly problem, or actually just a life problem at this point. I filmed a while ago. It was supposed to go in my last vlog, but I decided that that vlog was even shittier than this one, so it's not going to see the light of day. Basically, I talk about productivity and why I think part of it is a myth, and why I think sometimes we, as people who want to seem like regular-ass human beings, try to make productivity seem like a goal Like, you should want to be productive. And yeah, sure, you should want to be productive. As someone who is neurodivergent, has a chronic illness, who suffers from problems that hinder my productivity, I feel like in my other footage I put off this air that I knew what I was doing, that I was always productive, and that I didn't have days where I just laid in bed and stared at a wall. But I think productivity is good. Obviously, I'd love to be a productivity queen who just slays her goals and doesn't sit at her desk editing a shitty vlog instead of actually writing. I went a little bit ham with my eyeliner today, but I just want to talk really quickly about productivity and the illusion of productivity. I filmed a segment a couple days ago talking about how I was feeling really productive and really good about having a really productive day, and how recently I've been in a writing slump, which I'm sure you guys are no stranger to. Writing slumps can be really debilitating. I know for me, they make me feel like I'm not as creative, like I'm not good enough, like I won't never get back on that horse, like everything I write is total crap and there's no reason I should be pursuing this. I should have went into something else, whatever that may be. But I think when we're productive and we have things to show for and we can cross things off our lists that we've done for the day, it isn't always about crossing things off your list. It's about whether the things you've crossed off your list have made you happy, whether what you've done for the day is what you needed to do. And if what you needed to do was just lay in bed and watch a movie or a TV show and not think about your writing or your tasks or anything like that, that's totally okay. And I know for myself, and I think a lot of times when I watch AuthorTube or I watch like Day in My Life or Be Productive with Me and stuff like that, those are great and I appreciate the people who put out that kind of content and I love enjoying it, but I feel like sometimes I put myself under the unnecessary stress of if I'm not productive, the day wasn't worth it, and I don't think that's a wise or healthy mindset to be in. So I was just thinking about that, and I didn't really clearly articulate my thoughts in the clip that I had filmed the other day, so I wanted just to revise my statement and talk about it in a hopefully a healthier way. And I think I've put a lot of pressure to be productive, and that's good sometimes because you need to get your things done, you need to be productive. I think it makes you feel healthier, it makes you feel more whole, but it shouldn't be the only thing you're striving for in your life. And maybe I'm the only one who's struggling with this, but I don't know. So I didn't film an outro to this video because this is several days after the day that I filmed most of this footage, besides the productivity footage you just watched, which was filmed about a week ago. Whatever. So essentially, I don't know how this vlog came off. I don't know how I come off most of the time. A lot of the time I'm being sarcastic. I hope y'all can tell. Wow, that sounded really patronizing. Sorry, I'm a bitch. It's just who I am. Anyway. Oh god, I'm really fucking up. I try really hard to present this image of myself as a productivity queen, as someone who has a soothing aesthetic, which perhaps I do because I'm cozy queen. Love coziness. But also at the end of the day, I'm lazy and insecure and anxious, and I want to be in a profession where I spend all of my time at home. So, is this relatable content? Is this relatable content? I don't know. I just want to edit memes, y'all. If you've made it to this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Check out some of my other videos. I think they're a lot better than this one. That sounds bad. But if you have any tips for vlogging, if you are a vlogger yourself, or if you make writing vlogs, leave them down in the comments because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so I always need help. If you enjoyed this content, great. Oh, I'm gonna get in so much trouble because I'm such a bitch. Oh god. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel for more crappy content. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. I should not fucking say that. And I will see you guys next time.
But you know I do, 'cause I hate to love you, so I love
Maybe I should just film all my content like this. In a hoodie. Real close to the camera. Maybe I should do ASMR. No. Fuck that.